So much.
Thank
With
you.
us here in New York is Heather Higgins from the Independent Women's Voice. We have members of your organization on frequently. Good to see you here in New York. Thank you for coming on Arise XChange. So first, your take of what exactly happened here.
Well, there's a little reported thing that's incredibly, I think, salient. Eric Cantor had not signed the repeal pledge, and his opponent had.
This is for Obamacare.
Obamacare.
But he introduced more than 40 bills to repeal.
Yes, but they were all bills that didn't go anywhere. And if you look at the scripts of the Tea Party groups that were going door to door in his district, big on that was the fact that he hadn't signed the repeal pledge, and it was also the fact that he had not brought to the House floor the vote on whether or not you could undo the special exemption from Obamacare that Congress is happily living with itself. And that caused a great amount of ire. And then the issue that emphasized, of course, was the never bringing down the amount of debt that the government was incurring.
Do you think the race then was decided on the national issues and not from a local one?
I think in large measure, because also if you look at the Cochran upset, he too had not signed the repeal pledge, and he too is a happy beneficiary of the congressional exemption. And his opponent signed the repeal pledge and made a big deal about this, and it will be a big issue going into their runoff.
Is this, however, a loss for big business? The Chamber of Commerce, is pushing immigration reform, and while Cantor wasn't exactly pushing immigration reform, he seemed to be open to the idea. He was also, arguing for better tax treatment on, for example, into private equity investments. Does that go away here? Did big business lose here?
No, I don't think so, because if you look at Brott, he's an economics professor. If anything, he might be even more serious about those things which are essential to a well-functioning business economy, which is having dependability and the capacity to project, and not having an administration that constantly changes the terms of the legislation that gets passed.
But the argument against the Tea Party is they can't get anything done, though, because they are not willing to engage even members of their own party in some cases.
I don't know that that's correct. I think that they would be happy to see an awful lot of stuff get done. I think they're reluctant. The way I read, for example, the immigration issue right now is this is not the same as the immigration debate was. There are a lot of people who recognize the need for greater number of visas and recognize that there's a problem that needs to be dealt with here, in addition to the border security question. And this is all a part of a strong growth argument. But they are very reluctant to let this administration be handed any kind of deal and then watch them selectively enforce only pieces of it. So I think that's, well,
the president has gone out of his way with executive orders.
Right.
They clearly, more so than maybe the President Bush did. The concern is that the Tea Party candidates cannot be elected, though. Do the Democrats in this race have a chance of winning now?
The district is not such that I think that you can think that that's likely, but you can never rule anything out. You've got two effectively untested, really, candidates here. There are going to be mistakes made. Who knows how it will play? But yes, it is a Republican-leaning district. I think business would be smart to back the Tea Party guy, although I don't think he describes himself as a Tea Party guy. It's just that he had Tea Party support. But even there, not heavily. They looked at the fact that never in history has a sitting House leader been overturned in a primary. It just doesn't happen.
And I think the first time he's lost an election was 1899.
Well, that's when the position was created. So effectively, it's never happened before.
Heather Higgins, thank you so much.
My
Appreciate
pleasure.
you coming on. Turning now to the markets, a sell-off on the street. Some would say